What up, world? Y'all know the video title, man. Movie talk. Will Ferrell. I know last month during my Will Smith video, I said I was gonna change it up, do just top 10 lists, action, superhero movies, Pixar movies, DreamWorks movies, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. I got a request to do Will Ferrell. I wasn't doing these videos when Anchorman 2 came out, so I said fuck it, I'll do Will Ferrell. Get Hard came out this weekend, this month. So I mean, he's got a lot of shit. He's been in a lot of movies. Off Jump Street, I'll tell y'all the movie of Will Ferrell's that I dislike the most, and that's Land of the Lost, man. An attempt to bring a TV show to the big screen. It failed horribly. I'm pretty lenient when it comes to my movie opinions. Like, you can see behind me, I own a lot of movies, so I like a lot of movies. But I just couldn't stand Land of the Lost for some reason. Just jumping right into the list, man. Number 10, Anchorman 2. It was in my top 10 of 2013. It clearly isn't as good as the first Anchorman, but it's still funny, man. Just his reaction to a black female boss, hilarious. The ridiculous RV wreck, like him losing his sight or whatever. The news team brawl, completely up the ante from the first one. I mean, it's a year old. It hasn't even been on Blu-ray a year, so I won't spoil any of the cameos, but there are a lot of good, solid, a couple unexpected cameos. It was just great to see the entire news team back, man. At number 9, I got Megamind. And, man, in my opinion, one of DreamWorks' most underrated animated movies, man. He plays Megamind, the title character, a villain who has to become a hero because the hero, Metro Man, voiced by Brad Pitt, just fucking disappears. It was originally going to be Ben Stiller and Robert Downey Jr., and Ben Stiller still makes a cameo. I think Robert Downey Jr. just got too busy. And then, Tina Fey voices like the Lois Lane of the movie. Jonah Hill plays the ultimate threat to the movie. David Cross plays like the fish in the bowl. I think J.K. Simmons plays the warden that tries to keep Megamind imprisoned. It plays on superhero movies and specifically Superman a lot. And it was funny, man. Like, I'm a big ass kid, so I love animated movies. And just this one just fucking like had my attention, man. I still like it. At number 8, I got The Other Guys, the most recent original movie that Will Ferrell did with Adam McKay. Really showed off Mark Wahlberg's comedic acting. The small part that Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock had, man. They need their own movie. Like, before they jumped off that building, man, Adam McKay should get a movie made that just shows off how badass The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson were as partners. Mark Wahlberg's the Yankee Clipper. They tell him he should have shot A-Rod instead of Derek Jeter. And then Will Ferrell, man, he's a paper pusher. He doesn't like to be out in the shit. And it's so ridiculous how he doesn't realize how attractive Eva Mendes is. And Mark Wahlberg is just like pointing this shit out, and he's just like, Will Ferrell talks to her like she's a dog or some shit. On to number 7. And at number 7, I got Elf, which the next movie he did after Old School, before Anchorman. And like in 2003, if y'all don't know y'all calendar, movie release dates or whatever, I mean, he's a fully grown, like 6'4", 6'6" grown man working in the North Pole, big as fuck. They use their special effects to make Bob Newhart elf size. He sits on his lap. He goes to find his dad, played by James Caan, who is married to Mary Steenburgen, who we'll talk about in another movie later in the list. And then he doesn't buy that he's really from the North Pole. He sparks up a relationship with a blonde-haired Zooey Deschanel. It's a great Christmas time movie. And just him, just like an elf, a dude who's lived in the North Pole his whole life, in New York City, discovering all this new shit, trying to make everything all Christmassy. It's hilarious. At 6, I got Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Kind of low, but I mean, the rest of my list like justifies why this one is so low. He's like the fucking greatest NASCAR race driver at the time, man, winning races backwards. Commissioner Gordon from Tim Burton's Batman movies is his brand owner or whatever. If you don't chew Big Red, fuck you. Man, his girl just flip flops over to John C. Reilly after he becomes the face of the motor company after Commissioner Gordon dies, and the guy that was his lawyer in Get Hard, if you've seen Get Hard already, he was also in season 1 of House of Lies. I've seen him somewhere else too. I want to say like MTV or some shit. He looks like somebody that worked for MTV. You got Sacha Baron Cohen that comes in. He's like the best fucking French race car driver ever. Andy Richter is his lover. He's having brunch with Mos Def and Elvis Costello. Man, it's so ridiculous, man. Adam McKay directed this one after Anchorman, and it was hysterical, man. I saw it like 2 or 3 times when it came in theaters. At number 5, once again, I'm a big ass kid. I got the Lego Movie. It came out last year. I'm pretty sure everybody saw the Lego Movie. It's the first time we really see Will Ferrell portray a straight villain, president business, who's really the owner of the Lego community, I guess. We find that out at the end. He wants the Craggle, I think it was called, and Chris Pratt, who plays the special, Emmett, he has to like put what's glued to his back, like what's stuck on his back, on the Craggle. It's been months since I watched it. It was hilarious. Everything is Awesome is one of the greatest movie songs ever. Who else? Everybody did voices in this movie, man. Morgan Freeman, Elizabeth Banks, Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum, Charlie Day, Alison Brie, who's also in Get Hard. Kobe Smulders had like 1 or 2 lines. Liam Neeson. Everybody was in this movie, man. I want to see all of them come back for the sequel. Because of the reveal at the end, Will Ferrell has to come back. His Lego character doesn't necessarily, but he can voice any Lego character they need him to. And just his part, especially at the end when it's going on, and then like any movie that has Batman in it is gonna make my list. On to number 4, and just like Jim Carrey, just like Adam Sandler, man, Will Ferrell has tested his dramatic chops, if you will. And my favorite non-straight comedy Will Ferrell has ever done is Stranger Than Fiction. He plays this guy who's like real punctual and real articulate, real organized, and all of a sudden he just hears this voice narrating his life. How many strokes that he brushes his teeth when he crosses the street. He meets Maggie Gyllenhaal on his quest to figure out who this person is. Dustin Hoffman, Queen Latifah, Emma Thompson, and I won't give anything away, man, but it's a really, really underrated movie. Okay, number 3, which could be 2, but for now it's 3, is Step Brothers. Step Brothers is one of the most ridiculously hilarious comedies I've ever watched. Will Ferrell is like 40 years old, lives with his mom, Mary Steenburgen. She gets into a relationship with Richard Jenkins, who has like a 39-year-old son played by John C. Reilly. They get married. So these 2 dudes are stepbrothers. They strongly dislike each other at first. Will Ferrell's falling off his dinosaur. Just the disagreement over the ketchup. Then they bond over their dislike for Adam Scott's character, who his wife, Catherine Hahn, starts crushing on John C. Reilly. The night vision goggles, the Mentos in the soda, the swords, the bunk beds. Like, oh man, like this shit is endlessly quotable, endlessly watchable. The Chewbacca masks, boats and hoes. Come on, man, boats and hoes. Oh, I gotta have me my boats and hoes. Um, I ain't even gonna start rapping this shit. Before I take too much time talking about Step Brothers, man, I'm gonna go to number two. So number two on my list is Old School, and I'll be like, usually in these videos, it could be one or two, but nah, like this is my number two because I love my number one movie on this list so much. By now, y'all gotta know what that is too. But you got Luke Wilson, Vince Vaughn, and Will Ferrell. Um, Luke Wilson, everybody's seen Old School. Luke Wilson finds his wife cheating on him. You come home to find your, what he say, find your wife getting plowed like a human finger trap or some shit. Um, and then you got Vince Vaughn, who he's married with kids. He's miserable. He owns a bunch of imitation Circuit City Best Buy stores. Um, and then Will Ferrell, man, Frank the Tank. He's got a past. He indulges in too much alcohol, and nude streaking ensues. The Snoop Dogg cameo was hilarious. Jeremy Piven plays the perfect villain. The fight between Will Ferrell and Jeremy Piven is hysterical. This is Jeremy Piven's best work before Entourage, which was right after this movie. Frank the Tank, man. Will Ferrell, Vince Vaughn broke out as a comedian in this movie, but Will Ferrell stole this movie just by every scene. We're gonna go to Bed Bath and Beyond. I don't know if there's enough time. And then, man, let's just get to number one, man. My number one favorite Will Ferrell movie, my favorite comedy of all time, is Anchorman, the original, the Legend of Ron Burgundy. Just like Step Brothers, man, so ridiculous. But like me and my boys worked at a cheap, like a dollar theater, got out around 10. The movie started, I think, at 10:10 opening night, and we all beeline down the street to go see Anchorman the night it came out, right after work. And I loved it, man. I could quote this movie all day again, just damn near every other movie he's been in, man. Just Will Ferrell might have the most quotable filmography of all time. The teleprompter, man. How oblivious to obvious shit do you have to be to say "Go fuck yourself, San Diego" on the air? No disrespect to San Diego, y'all know what I'm talking about. The Channel 4 news team, the brawl in this movie at the time was so fucking dope. This still might be better than the one in the second one. Just the cameos are better in the one in the second one. Vince Vaughn plays a rival Anchorman. Just his rivalry with Christina Applegate. It's Anchorman, not Anchor Lady. Just fucking David Koechner, Paul Rudd, Steve Carell. They all have their moments. Fred Willard. I love this movie, man. I will always love this movie. You guys could tell me how bad of a movie Anchorman is, and it won't change my opinion. I love this shit. If they do a 3, let's go. I'm in for Anchorman 3. That's it from my list. So what are some of your favorite Will Ferrell movies? A Night at the Roxbury, his small parts in the first 2 Austin Powers, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, was it Melinda and Melinda, Land of the Lost, Bewitched, Everything Must Go, I think is a movie he did. There's more that just aren't coming to me right now. He's got some great cameos too, man. Starsky and Hutch, Wedding Crashers, The Internship. Just Will Ferrell, man. He's one of the funniest dudes in movies today. So like, suggestions, recommendations, requests out the window for next month, because all I plan on seeing is Furious 7. And I've already done Paul Walker right after he passed. I haven't seen enough Vin Diesel movies to really get to 10. So I'll do, because of Home, I'm gonna narrow down my top 10 DreamWorks movies next month. So my review for Get Hard should be posted. My review for Home will be posted shortly. My quarterly video, my 3 favorite movies of the first quarter of the year, should be posted after this. Look for it all, man. Like I said, next weekend, Furious 7, And then I don't think I'm going to see anything else until Avengers comes out, man. Peace.